White Wolf here at Ways of the Wild Institute in Vermont. Now this video is entitled Wet Fire-2. Alright, this is a sequel to the one I did a while back. And the reason I'm doing this one is because I had a lot of great comments on the first Wet Fire video, but also had a number of comments from skeptics. Alright, and they were wondering why the video was so choppy and a bunch of other little details. And I basically explained that the original video was, I think it was like 16 minutes long. They're only allowed to put 10 minutes on YouTube, so I had to cut out 6 minutes. That's a lot of video footage to edit and cut out, so it really chops it up. So what I'm going to do for the skeptics out there is I'm going to do this again. Alright, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do less talking. Alright, and I'm going to, because I'm by myself here, so I'm going to try my best to get clear footage of the actual lighting process, so that you can see there's nothing funny going on, no tricks up my sleeve, alright, no magic tricks here. This is all reality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out again. I'm going to show you the materials I'm going to use. I'm going to put them in the river. Alright, I'm going to weight them down so they have time to soak. Then I'm going to take them out. I'm going to show you me take them out. Alright, I'm going to squeeze them, get all that water out. And I'm going to bring them up here and put them in a fire hole. I'm going to arrange that, and I'm going to have the footage right there so you can see all of it. Okay, I'll shake out the tinder so you can see there's nothing in there. There won't be any chops in that section. And then I'll show you how to get a fire lit with a spark using all wet materials. Alright, and I'm just going to do the tinder bundle today. I'm not going to go through with all the wood and stuff like I did last time. It takes too much time. And if you want to see that, go back and watch the first one. Alright, so let me show you the tinder I'm using. The tinder that I'm going to be using today. Alright, now again, just like last time, I've got cattail heads. Alright, I got 4 of them sitting right there. And right now, they are dry cattail heads. Even though it has been raining for many days. Today's the first day where it hasn't rained yet, but it rained all night. And so I've got 4 cattail heads, and underneath there I've got some yellow birch bark that I peeled off of the yellow birch tree. Alright, here's the exact tree, yellow birch, that I peeled that bark off of. Alright, you can see just by looking at it that that is wet. But no matter, because we're going to put it all in the river anyway and make sure it's good and wet. Take my tinder here. Okay, I got the 4 cattail heads and the yellow birch bark. We'll put it in water. Here's my flint and steel lighter. Okay, flint and steel. We'll put that in here in the water, and I'll make sure I weight it down with a rock. So now it stays under the water. I'm going to leave that in there for about 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and we'll get it out and I'll show you how wet it is. Okay, wet. See that? Soaking wet. Roll this up. Squeeze it. Water runs out. Alright? Wet. Now, let's go over to the fire pit and I'll show you. My little fire hole in the gravel alongside the stream bed. Remember, every time you light a fire, to always dig a hole first, alright? You don't want all those nasty ashes laying on top when you're done sterilizing the ground. Okay. Here's my stuff. You can see that it's wet. Alright? Wet, wet. Just took it out of the river and all wet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shred this stuff. Alright, make a nest of it. And then I'll show you how to light the fire. Okay, I've got my nest here, alright? I shredded everything up. Now, this I think is partially where the skeptics came in last time. They said, well, you might have some magnesium in there, you might have some ferrous dust in there, or something like that. Something that you scraped off and hid down in that bundle. Alright? So to make you realize there's nothing in here except for the shredded wet cattail and the shredded wet yellow birch, I'm going to pick it up and get real close to the camera here. Okay? Now, take a good look here. Do you see any silver magnesium? Any ferrous dust? If it was, it'd be falling out. Okay, there's nothing in here. All it is bark and cattail down, and as you can see, it is wet. So we're going to put that back now. Alright, now I'm not a magician here, so I want you to pay attention, okay? Alright, I'm not going to take this away from the camera. Alright, I'm setting it right back down in the hole. Reform the nest. Alright, I'm not even going to take my hands out of the camera. Okay, here, I'm not going to hide the tinder bundle so you can see that I don't have a third hand planting something in there. I've got my flint and steel, alright? You can buy this at any sports store. Dick's Sporting Goods carries them. You can buy them online, alright? It's just a piece of flint and a piece of steel. And when you rub them together, you get a spark. Now you saw that this was also in the river. Looks like fire to me, huh? If this were dry, this whole thing would be engulfed in flame, but it's taking its good old time here because it is wet. Alright, you can see that it's only burning kind of on this top little section here. It's slowly moving through, but this stuff dries really fast when you put it next to heat. When it gets wet really fast, it holds a lot of water, but at the same time, when you put it near heat, it does dry fast. And that's a nice, dense, wet bundle, so that tinder bundle right there will burn for quite a while. Now, if I had some wood that I split down, some damp wood, I could easily build a lightweight teepee around it, alright, and that wood would dry out with this heat and burn, just like you saw in the first video. But again, anybody who's taken dry birch bark or dry cattail down and put a flame to it, you know it goes up like that, real fast. See how slow this is burning? That's because it is wet. But even wet burns. You just have to work your tinder bundle enough. You have to get it fine enough. You have to shred it enough. You have to put it into that nest formation and have a bunch of it. As long as you work that tinder enough and you get it fine enough and you get a bunch of it and you put it into that nest formation like that, you're going to get a spark, you're going to get flame. Now today actually is a little easier for me than it was the last time I did a wet fire video because it's not currently raining. And it's not nearly as misty. You know, the last time there was a lot of moisture in the air. It was really heavy. It was hanging down in this this canyon, and it was raining. And so it took a lot longer, and it was a lot smokier getting that fire going because everything was just so oppressed down here. But even though the material's dry and the sand is dry, it's not raining right now. And so it makes lighting your fire, even your wet material, happen so much faster than if it is raining and it's real heavy and misty and foggy. Okay, so there you have it. No tricks, nothing on my sleeves, no magic, alright? Just plain out, straightforward reality and facts. And that's about all I can show you on a video. If you still have doubts about what I was doing there, I guess you're just going to have to come up and see me, and I'll have to show you face to face in person. And then try it out yourself and see that yes, it is possible and you can do it. You don't need magic tricks, you don't need store-bought stuff as far as you know, special lighting material. All you need is flint and steel, all right? Proper rocks if you have them to actually create a spark. And you have to have the proper tinder material. You have to work it enough to really make sure that you know what you're doing when you're working your tinder. That's the key. It doesn't matter if it's wet or not, all right? It's a lot easier if it's dry. And, you know, I mean, if at all possible, keep your tinder dry, but there's sometimes you get out here and you can't, all right? It's been raining for a week straight, and there is very, very little that's dry. And even when you get some dry tinder, like out of the bottom of a dead log, you dig up in there and you get some dry stuff out and it's powdery. If it's real humid out here, that powdery dry stuff's going to absorb that humidity very fast, and it's going to get damp real quick. So learning how to light fires with damp tinder is essential, all right? Especially if you're going to be traveling or camping or living for periods of time in any environment that has a high humidity content, lots of rainfall, lots of ground moisture. Because most of the stuff out here is wet, more often than not. Okay, this is White Wolf here at Ways of the Wild Institute. If you're interested in anything else we do, check out our website, waysofthewildinstitute.com. Willa Mounson, be well and happy.